Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Greg Drake. He's the Butler County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Joanne. It's always good to be with you on Farm and Home.
Well, I'm glad you're here today because you're going to talk about beekeeping. Today you're going to share a little bit about how we harvest that honey and the equipment we might need.
Yeah, it's always and sort of always an exciting time in beekeeping. Beekeepers get excited about the industry, and Greg, the county agent, has been excited because I've got to work with a lot of new beekeepers over the years. And you're exactly right. During the pandemic, when people have been home more, they've gardened more, they've been a little more in touch with the natural world and thinking about maybe they're going to keep their own hives next year. So today's topic will be great. We're going to talk about the equipment that is used in the harvest. And a lot of folks, they're most interested in the honey. But we also have some folks that are more interested in pollinating their garden or pollinating their fruit trees. If a client has an orchard, they're most interested in getting those apple and peach trees pollinated. But we'll talk about the equipment for honey harvest. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and you're going to put some pictures up so folks can see what I'm talking about. So some of the basic equipment that beekeepers use would be, the first thing is a yellow-handled cap and scraper, and it is just a little metal tool to open up the end of the honeycomb. When bees put honey in the honeycomb inside of the hive, when they get it dehydrated down to about 18% moisture, they will put a wax cap over the end of it, and that protects the honey. That protects the inside moisture of the honey, and that'll make it keep basically forever in that honeycomb. And of course, the beekeeper has to take that cap off, and then you get a oozing comb of honey, and that's why we like to use those stainless steel metal pans. And those pans are something that I've just found was about right. They're the right size for a honeycomb to be in. But we'll use that cap and scraper to open it up and let the honey come out. And if we didn't do that, then you would only have those strips of comb that maybe folks like to chew on the honeycomb, and that makes that pretty package in the can. But we have to use that cap and scraper to get it open. The next thing I wanted to talk about is we have filters. So when we do a honey harvest, we take the honeycomb from the bees, we open it up with the cap and scraper, and we spin it out with centrifugal force with a honey extractor. And I'll talk about the extractors in a minute. But we have to filter that honey through metal strainers. If you think about a colander that you might use in the kitchen, this is just a tighter mesh metal strainer. And we actually let the honey flow through those filters and into a food grade 5-gallon bucket to get it prepared to bottle. And we're filtering out little pieces of honeycomb and little pieces of wax and debris that the bees may have brought in. We have to remember this is a very natural process. The beekeeper cannot maintain the sanitation. The bees inside the hive do that. So we filter the honey, and that's the only real processing that goes on when somebody buys honey from a local beekeeper. So I'm showing two kinds of honey filters here. There are two types of filters. One is metal, the other one is plastic, and the plastic one fits down exactly in that 5-gallon bucket, and we pour the honey through those and does the filtering. The next thing is, let me talk about honey extractors. It's called a radial extractor, and you put the honeycomb in and it spins around and around, and it actually slings the honey out of the comb. There's an example that has an electric motor on it, and then there's an example that's the old-fashioned one with a hand crank. So it depends on how hard that you want to work. And that's just two examples of honey extraction equipment.
And Greg, a lot of people, they might want honey for Christmas presents or things like that, but now is the time because we've just experienced a honey harvest, right?
Right. Honey harvest will typically wind up, the main one, in mid-July. All the honey's on the market. If you think you're going to use some for your family or you want to get it for gifts, go out and find a local beekeeper and get it now, or hit your farmer's market and get it now, because it'll be hard to find in December.
All right, Greg. Well, certainly appreciate you bringing that information. Beekeeping and the making of honey has always amazed me. It's such a wonderful process. And so thanks for sharing a little bit of your expertise with us today. If you have questions about beekeeping, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.